This is Hannah and Kaylin, back again with Double Talk. I'm Hannah. And I'm Kaylin, and we're at the SBA Theater in New York City for the premiere of Rustin at the opening night of NewFest's.
Bayard Rustin, a civil rights leader who advocated for gay rights after being arrested for homosexuality in 1953, worked with Martin Luther King Jr. to challenge racial segregation and fight discrimination. Despite Bayard's influential life of advocacy and many accomplishments, he, as an openly gay black man, was all but erased from the civil rights movement he helped build. Rustin, a biographical drama film directed by George C. Wolfe, tells Bayard's story.
One of the most remarkable things about Rustin and his story is his fearlessness in being himself. What advice would you give to somebody who's on their own journey in discovering who they are?
Well, you become fearless, and even if you fake it for a little bit, you cultivate the muscles, and then you realize that you don't need to cultivate the muscles, that it's inside of you. So and it's there all along, and all you have to do is claim it. It's there's no mystery really going on.
The slogan for the film, which is a line of his, is "Own Your Power," and I think that is something that we should all take personal responsibility to do. And if you haven't found your thing, your power, your passion, you got to find it, and then you got to work it. And then you got to make it happen.
You reach for it, and then you realize you don't have to reach for it. It is.
It's already inside you. It's already inside all.
Exactly. Fake it until you figure out that you don't have to fake it, that you are it.
Exactly. I really believe that. I really think that we're all more powerful than we think we are.
Yeah, 100%.
Being who you are, you can never go wrong. You may face resistance, you may face challenges, and you may not be in an environment that is welcoming to who you are. So find your people, find your space, and be yourself, because that's all we have to do is contribute who we are and all of our beautiful, messy, dimensional complexity.
Stories like Rustin's and festivals like this are so important because they really shine a spotlight on LGBTQ plus issues, and you need that awareness to bring about change, right? Is there something that comes to mind that, like, when you watch the media, whether it be the news or film and TV, that, like, you're like, oh, I really wish they would talk more about this? Is there something that really matters to you that you'd like to see represented better?
You know, I think especially in television, oftentimes queer characters are put in this box of like acting a certain way, and they're not just like people who exist as souls. And like there are certain like things that I think about, like Heartstopper, shows like that, where like it's just two people in love. And I would like to see more of that.
How our LGBTQ rights are going backwards. There are so many ways in which we're in a worse situation now than we were when we started working on this movie 4 years ago. And when you look at our film taking place in 1963, as far as we've come, and as big a success as the March on Washington was, a lot of those same issues, racial equality, voting rights, economic equality, they're still issues today.
Allyship and advocate, like work for the community at large, especially for trans folks, for Black trans people and trans women especially. You know, we're living in a time where we had a little glimpse of what it's like to be supportive of the queer community during COVID and kind of rallying together. And I feel like we're losing a sense of that. Like people are really starting to stand up for those that they love. And we need all the support we can get. We need to continue that fight and not give up on different parts of our own community.
Seeing yourself. It's just all about seeing yourself. Seeing yourself and then believing and knowing that you are capable of everything, and you are.
What needs to happen to give you hope?
Activism gives me hope. How I get up in the morning is to change the world and make the world better. And just knowing that there's the potential that you might do something today that's going to help is all I need to get out of bed. And Rustin inspires me to the ends of the world.
Diamonds are made by compression, and if things can happen so quickly, they aren't diamonds. They shine, but they aren't diamonds. There's still the journey that you have to go on to become an artist or to become a better person or a deeper person or a smarter person takes time.
One thing about Rustin, he was not afraid to challenge authority, and I think that's something that we all face, whether it's, you know, something in the workplace that happens or whether you're questioning entire world views. How do you think that somebody can best challenge authority in a way that's productive but also respectful?
Well, you need to be clear what you are challenging, because you aren't really you need to be very specific about what you are challenging. You're not challenging authority, you're challenging an idea or an impulse or something that is incorrect. So So the more specific you are, the stronger your argument is going to be. If your argument's vague, you're going to be vague and you're just going to have less potency.
Well, I think you said respectful is the key word, because most of the time, if you're just screaming and shouting, people shut down and they're not going to hear it. And Bayard knew that. He led with charisma, he led with humor, he led with panache, and he got shit done. So I would say you have to find the positive, joyous parts of your personality and figure out how are you going to use that to change the world for the better and get what you want.
I think it's lack of ego and just approaching it from awareness, being aware of that, we don't have all of the answers in ourselves, and like taking the element of anger out and ego out, and just trying to find peace within each other.
I've been thinking so much just the past couple of days. It's so much about listening, right?
Yes,
like you have to listen to what other people are saying.
Use your voice, listen, know your privilege, and also know when it's appropriate to get loud. I think different contexts call for different tactics, but sometimes a bull in a china shop approach is what's needed. Rustin, as this movie shows, was not afraid to ruffle feathers, and that got stuff done. And I think, this is our 35th anniversary of the festival, and 35 years ago, building an organization like this was ruffling feathers. The red carpet was not rolled out for this organization. We had to fight to make it happen, and so I think finding the courage and the power and the willingness to do that can be really impactful.
It's going to take time. You have to stay diligent. You have to believe in the you that's in your core and inside of you. There will be lonely nights, and there will be high highs and maybe low lows. It's a journey, but you have to continue. You just have to keep forging forward and know that you're changing people's lives as you commit to being yourself.
What's great about the film, too, is that it's telling the story of this man who, as influential as he was, his name isn't usually up there with, like, Martin Luther King Jr.'s, right? And so I think that's why it's really important to tell the story. Who in the community comes to mind when I say somebody that you really want to make sure is remembered for generations?
I think that's a great point about Bayard Rustin. His landmark residence is actually just 3 blocks north of where we're standing right now, which is really exciting. We also have a program in the festival about Urvashi Vade, who was an incredible activist, an integral part of the 1993 March on Washington, and we have a short film about Urvashi as well as a feature-length film about that march, and Urvashi is someone who many people don't know, but many more should.
Octavia St. Laurent, she's an icon in the trans community. There's so many powerful women. Tracy Africa is an icon in the community as a supermodel. Connie Girl, she's a supermodel. And these are like women and folks in our community who, they're the backbone of the culture. We are the backbone of the culture. We create it, we manifest it, and it's usurped from us, but we don't always get the recognition, and we really deserve that.